Quite some time ago, I tried a trading bot on Pionex.com. I struggled a little to set it up correctly, to get all the data, but this time things are different. Because instead of using a bot just to buy and sell some crypto here and there, we got ourselves a mission, and that is the gaming crypto universe. We gotta expand that with our rebalancing bot this week. This week means the week is over for me and I already did all the work, but look at this as like one giant week of work, and then I compile all of this into this video, but you know what I'm trying to say. The point is this: if you trade yourself, you have emotions. You buy high, you sell low, you make wrong decisions, and it is not fun. So what if you would just give the power of a decision to a machine instead, to a bot that makes all those trades for you? I just like the idea that the machine constantly makes good decisions while I sleep, or at least sticks to the plan without acting emotionally. First of all, head over to Pionex.com, create an account and just log into the one that you already have, play the little mini game with the puzzle piece, and then deposit some money into your account. Now, just to make it clear, even though I did it through the website, it is not necessary. You can also just download the app and then select the option to deposit some money in there. So just go with whatever you prefer. But I clicked on the big button over here, that red deposit, and I went with those 4 digits down here in USDT on the Tron network, basically for my Binance account, and then just send it over to the address that is in your account up there. But you don't have to use USDT exactly, you can also use anything else that is in this list. So if you feel like, hey, I heard about Litecoin before and I bought that on BlockFi or some other app, then you can also send it over that way. Now that we get the money in the account, it's time to set up the bot. And this time, as mentioned in the beginning, we're gonna go with a rebalancing bot. Here's what that means, and I will explain that to you in Paint. Let's say you set up a rebalancing bot with Bitcoin and ETH. What you do is you split the money you invest into that, let's say $100, into 50% that goes into Bitcoin and 50% that goes into ETH. So we have a perfect split, a perfect 1-to-1 ratio in here. Let's say one of them goes up by 20%. If one of the components down here now go up by 20%, it wouldn't be a perfect 50-50 ratio anymore. Keep in mind, when we invested $100 into this and we had $50 in each of them, we now would have $60 in one of them. So just for the sake of the argument, we would have now $60 worth of Bitcoin in here and $50 worth of ETH. But because it is a rebalancing bot and we have this 1-to-1 ratio we always want to keep, the bot would now sell $5 worth of Bitcoin and add those $5 to ETH, which would then result in us having both $55 in Bitcoin as well as $35 in Ethereum, thanks to the rebalancing bot. I hope this made sense because we're going to do exactly that. So I would say, let's open up the app and jump right in. We can see that my balance in here is $1,000 and nothing has happened yet. So here's what we can do. The second tab down there is the market, so we can see what is actually happening right now, if anything is going up or is going down. We go to the important tab, which is the trading tab directly in the middle. In here, the first thing you do is select a trading pair. Now, just clicking on one of those pairs doesn't mean you immediately trade that. It is just selected for you so you can then move further along. For example, I selected Engine and ETH. And then there are a couple different bot options that open up for Pionex. We got the grid trading bot, the martingale bot, as well as the rebalancing bot that we're going to create today. If you need something like an ultra wide range bot or something more advanced, then they also got those options down here. But we're gonna focus on rebalancing. So the first thing we're gonna do is obviously select the currency you would like to use in the bot. And while I did select Engine here, I eventually thought, wouldn't it be better if you use Mana, Decentraland, the one that Mark Zuckerberg talked about? So I searched for that real quick and selected the Mana/USDT pair, then clicked on Create Bot in the bottom right corner, and then went with the rebalancing option for number 3 in here. Next up is gonna ask you the following thing. Do you want a dual coin mode or a multi-coin mode? The difference is just, you can have this 50-50 pair that we just talked about, like Bitcoin and ETH for example, or you go with the multi-coin mode, which we're going to set up later, where you can also have like 5 or 7 different coins in here, maybe even more. We went with the dual coin mode first. I then went for Sandbox as my second pair, and here, when it comes to like the metaverse, Decentraland, Mana is like one of the go-to things, and Sandbox is also one of the go-to things, so I thought, let's just combine them. Next up, you're gonna select the amount you would like to invest on your account. I thought, if I got $1,000, let's put 50% of that in here. And so I saw 50% of each is selected in here. Investment is $500, so I would just confirm that and then lock that in. The bot is then going to make the purchase, and your bot is there up and running. So I would say, let's set up another one, considering that we do have $500 left. And here I went with Alice as well as AXS, so both 2 more coins that are used for the metaverse, NFTs, play to earn games, all of that stuff, because it makes the most sense for me to invest into something that I actually use on a daily basis. And that was day 1. That was pretty much all the work you gotta do. Now, every 5 minutes, your bot is going to rebalance itself. I think you can also change that interval to like every 10 minutes, 20, 30 minutes even, but the default option is every 5 minutes, so I thought, if it's in the app, then just let it go like that. And then 1 day passed, and I went into the app the very next day to see the following thing. We made $111 overnight without doing anything. Now you might say, well, that's a pretty good bot. I mean, I didn't do anything for that, and it went up by 11%. Yeah, it wasn't necessarily the bot, it was more like the entire market that went up by like 8, 9, 10%. But nonetheless, the green number is better than the red number. The first bot we had, the Mana and Sand bot, went up by $64 in total, almost 13%, and the Alice/AXS bot went up by $48 or almost 10% in total. Now you can always click in the bottom right corner of each of those bots, where you can then see the details, you can see the trades that they made. But here's the thing, you might remember like 3 minutes ago when I showed that there are 2 different ways to create a bot. You could either create a bot that only has 2 options or 2 coins in there, or you can create one that is multiple in there. And I thought, well, now that we are up, let's withdraw some of the money from our bots and put it into a new bot that contains 5 coins in total. And so I selected Alice, Axis, Gala Games, Illuvium, as well as Moon River, and instead of just going with 20% on each of those, I thought, let's just play around a little. We already have Alice and Axis as a pair, so let's reduce that by 5% each, and rather increase the other 3 by a total of 10%. So with that selected, I wanted to see if I have more in there, does it work better? Because I do have a wider variety of different coins. Maybe. I set up the bot, went to bed, and then checked in 2 days later. And I was greeted with, we're back to the beginning. Turns out if the entire crypto market goes up 10% and you make some money, you are happy. And then if it goes down 10%, you're back where you started. So even though I'm not emotionally attached to the machines, I can't give the machine the fault here, because if the entire market goes down, there's nothing a bot can do when you only give them the option between 2 or even 5 different coins that all go down in value. So this one is on me. However, let's take a look at the details. Here we can see that some of the percentages changed a little from the initial balance up to the current balance. For example, Illuvium went down by like 1%, Gala Games went up by 2.5%, and the other ones changed by a little bit as well. So now I can see the bot at least tried to save as much as possible. But now to the final day. 1 week later, how does the portfolio look like? Is it gonna be green? Do we at least make some profit? Or is it gonna be negative because the entire market went down? And the answer is surprisingly positive. We went up by 4%, and if we take a look at the market overall, everything is still down. And despite that, we are up. At some point, our multi-coin rebalancing bot went up by almost 10% in total. Now it's down 1.5, but it did went up by almost 10% at some point. Alice/Axis dual coin bot is still up 2.6% and spiked at 12.6% in total. And our Mana and Sand bot at some point even went up by almost 15%. That's a lot of percent. So I did test a bot like that before, where it was, I think, an arbitrage and a grid bot. Or the difference is that you set yourself a certain price limit for the coins, and every single time it goes up and down in that range, it sells when it goes up and it buys when it goes down. And that bot went alright overall. I don't think that you can really see the difference between an arbitrage bot and a rebalancing bot after just 1 week of testing. But if I looked at how much each individual coin was worth if I would have just bought them with $1,000 without setting up the bot compared to setting up the bot, I think I would have lost 1.5 or 2% in total, and with the bot I eventually went up by 4%. Now just saying it how it is, this is not financial advice, that's just showcasing my results after 1 week of testing this. Also don't forget, there are a ton of different variables and factors that count into this as well. For example, what if the entire market just goes down by 50% tomorrow? It doesn't matter if you have a bot or not, everything is down by 50%. To sum it up in 1 or 2 sentences for myself, I think setting up something like a bot that makes the exact decision you want to make for you, and you don't have to worry about that, it works while you sleep and executes that every 5 minutes, that is definitely something I'm happy to have found. Which means in the end, there are only 2 things to do. Either just let this run and see where this one goes in about a month from now, or if you want to change anything in here, then you just select the withdrawal option and take your money out of it. If you want to try this out as well, then I will have the links to everything in the description down below. Don't forget, and I will just stress it one more time, this is not financial advice. You make your own decisions, you're an adult, and if you want to set this one up for yourself, then by all means, go for it, link is down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, have a good rest of your day, and take care.